Hey everyone, welcome to the Serial Hobbyist YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, thanks for joining me. This is a place where I'm sharing my love for the game of backgammon and more specifically, awesome backgammon boards that I am continually adding to my collection. If you're a subscriber, thanks for being here once again. The board I have on the table today is super bright, as you can obviously tell. This is from a company that I have been following for a long time, and I finally got my hands on one of their boards, MB Heritage. If you're on social media, if you're active in like backgammon groups, you may have seen ads for these boards because they have been everywhere lately. They're a company from France, and I have wanted to, again, try one of these for quite a while. You can see that this is a more compact board, I would say in the small to medium size range, and it's got bright, vivid colors, a really awesome kind of alligator pleather exterior, and I can't wait to tell you more about it. So in this video, like I've done in the past, I'm going to talk about the external case, we'll do some measurements, and then I'll put the camera overhead and give you a top-down view so you can see the checkers, the cups, the dice, the doubling cube, all of that. We'll do a few rolls to kind of put this board in action, and then I'll talk about my experience using it and whether or not I think you should grab one for yourself and what the pros and the cons are. Full disclosure here, MB Heritage did send this to me for review. They have no say over what I talk about in this video. They gave me no talking points or anything like that. I just merely mentioned that I was interested in it, and they were gracious enough to send one over. So keep that in mind. We can call this an overview instead of a review, whatever you want to say, but I'm going to tell you what I think are the pros and the cons of this board to hopefully help you make an informed purchase. Now, before we start, if you're not a subscriber, I'd love to have you become one. I do have more videos coming in the future. Things have spaced out a bit. It's not as rapid fire as it was at the beginning, but I am still always adding to my collection, and I hope to do reviews of dice towers, baffle boxes, checkers and cups and other things in the future as well. So ring the notification bell, leave a comment as the video goes on with your thoughts on this board, but enough about that, let's start talking about it. So as I mentioned, MB Heritage is from France. The board got to me in around a week, maybe week and a half. They mentioned that there were kind of issues with all the tariffs and uncertainty stuff going on here in the US, but it was still rather fast for coming from overseas. They do have a website. It's fairly easy to order these. I think they're all ready to go. This is not like a made to order kind of boards where you have a processing time. Once you order, they should ship it out rather quickly. Now, I think this is the size that they make. I don't think there's other sizes. And like I mentioned, I would say this is more of a small to medium sized board, coming in at, let me grab a tape measure here, coming in length at 18 inches, which I think is kind of the de facto medium size. Width wise with this board, you're looking at 10, so 20 when you're open, and it's very, very lightweight as opposed to my solid wood boards or even like the tournament sized MDF boards. This is fairly easy to tote around. This would make a great cafe board or a great board to take to your local club or on the road if you're traveling. The orange is super duper vibrant. I didn't know what to expect, but this is like pop in your face. I think they have a black, a brown, and like a teal. I was kind of wavering on the teal versus the orange, but I don't have any orange in my collection, so I had to give that a try. Clasps are fairly generic clasps. They do lock down quite firmly, which is nice. You have hidden hinges on the back, which I know some people really enjoy. I don't get caught up on that, but I do think it looks really, really sleek. Single stitching all around the edges here, and the handle feels nice and solid and firmly attached. So quality wise, this is one of my more lightweight boards, but I have not had any indication that the quality is not up to snuff. So let me put the camera overhead, we'll get a top-down view, and we'll talk about everything that's inside. Now that we're overhead, you can see in a little more detail that nice orange alligator exterior. It looks really, really great, but let's crack this open and see what is inside. And again, I just want to comment on those clasps are a nice solid click in. So it's not going to pop open while you're walking around. So you can see beautiful contrast here on the inside. The play surface is like a felt, like a microfiber suede kind of feel. The points on the board are not printed on, so these feel like they're stuck on, almost kind of like a heat press application, or I'm not quite sure how they do it, but there's just the faintest bit of edge to each of them that you can feel. Now thankfully they're not stitched on. Stitching points on, makes it really tough for checkers to glide across, but these ones are pretty much flush. You can just tell that these were applied after the fact. So as far as long-term wear and tear, I will have to report back in the future on if these hold up to repeated play. Now, the checkers are arranged in a single line right here. We've got our dice and our doubling cube, and then we have our cups, which are free floating in the board. Now, a lot of more affordable boards do this. Even my tournament Wycliffe brothers do this. You all know I prefer, if you've watched this channel, for my cups to be in dedicated slots, but alas, it's not always possible. Now, these are finished in the same orange Alligator as the board. These are quite lightweight, and I don't want to say like flimsy. I would just say these are probably the weak point of the board. They're just very light cups, and they don't have a triplet. So again, this board I feel like is aiming more for form over function, like beauty, statement piece over like what a true backgammon player wants. But not every board has to be built for a tournament pro. But the cups, I mean, they do their function, and they are, with that leather on the inside, they do have a kind of a bit of padding, so they're not super clanky, like, you know, going straight onto raw wood or something like that. And the cups work absolutely fine. Like, playing with my wife, do I think that not having a triplet makes the rolls unfair? I don't think so. I think things have been fine. So you get two of those, they free float in here, and nothing to write home about, but they are decent cups, okay? Now, the dice, since we've already got those pulled out, are perfectly color matched to the checkers. The pips on them are very full, no divots, no anything like that. They are, I think, a good size for this board. You could probably go down one size, just comparing the ratio of the checker to the dice, but not the end of the world. And I think the marbling or the pearlescent on the dice is very, very pretty. So they're not precision, but I don't know if any boards that I've bought have had precision included. Now, the doubling cube, to my dismay, is a little tiny. I do not like when my doubling cube is basically the same size as my dice. If we could have bumped this up a few millimeters, maybe 1.5 times the dice size, I would love that. But to their credit, it's very legible, very high contrast. All the printing is good. So in a pinch, it's a great doubling cube, but a little bit more size would be awesome. Okay, so there's our dice and our doubling cube. Let's talk about, lastly, our checkers. Now, one thing I really appreciate is when a budget board has beautiful checkers. So these are a pretty standard material, but they do have a really nice pearlescent, marbleized, swirled kind of finish, which makes them stand out a lot, and they perfectly match the rest of the orange on the board. Now, let's line them up this way. This board is very long in relation to the size of the checkers, so you are gonna fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 checkers across, which is fantastic. Now, the side to side is the more important fit for me, so when we do our 6 side to side, you can see that we do have, I would say that's probably maybe a half a centimeter of play there. It's not the worst I've seen at all, and you actually can slot checkers in, yeah, pretty nice. Honestly, you're not gonna have, maybe once you get up to, like, if we didn't have these, you get up to like higher checker counts. No, honestly, I think that the play is actually quite good. I wouldn't complain about that. If we took a millimeter or two off to get a little bit tighter play, that'd be awesome, but honestly, this is more than acceptable for me. So let's get a game set up here. I'll be orange on this side, because as my daughter and my wife say, I always take the colored checkers. That's just my fault. Unless I'm playing with my Pointworks board. I feel like my wood Pointworks board, I like the white swirl on that. But if I can have the color, I'm all about it. Okay, here's our 2 here and our 5 over here. So let's do a few rolls. As always, feel free to critique my play. All right, and orange is gonna take it with the 5-3, probably just make the point here, yeah? I feel like that's going kind of deep. I think the alternative is 5 and 3 in the back, but we're gonna go with it for now and see how that goes. 6-1, you love to see it. Oh, I rolled that over. You can kind of see, like, these are not like air hockey like a Chrysloid. If you push too hard down, it just adds a lot of friction. If you're light with your touch, they do slide. And again, you're not getting caught up on the points at all because they are pretty much flush. All right, oh, the ones, well, let's make our 5, and then I guess kind of come up and cover his 6 away, yeah? because that doesn't do much for me. Yeah, I think that's the best move. 6-4. Probably send. Oh, see, we're breaking up our midpoint a lot here, but I think that's the best, and have some builders there. All right, we'll get one more roll for each color, and then we'll kind of go to our outro and our final thoughts. So let's come down with the 3, and then split in the back with the 1. Tell me if I'm messing up. Let me know. 3 and 2. We could 1, 2, 3, probably 1, 2, 3 and 2. Kind of start blocking oranges way out. All right, so let's cut to a little outro and talk about final thoughts. So there you have it. That is the MB Heritage Orange Backgammon board. It's a beautiful addition to my collection. It's not, I would say, of the same caliber as my $300-400 tournament-sized boards from the likes of Wycliffe Brothers and FM Gammon, but I do think that if you're looking to spend in around the $200 range, this is an awesome contender, especially if you want something that's more visually striking. I would say that this is a form over function type of board. It plays backgammon perfectly well, but I think this is catering more to being a statement piece than to being like exactly what tournament pros want out of a backgammon board. But if you're new and you want to have like a stylish board and show it off in your home and get others interested in the game, I think this is a great option. The checkers are really pretty, the case is well done, and overall it's staying in my collection, and we're going to pull it out most likely for our backgammon nights with new players and friends. It's nice and compact, and we can fit more boards of this size on the table when we have people over. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Make sure that you subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss videos coming in the future. I appreciate you all being here. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.